There's something about Shen Yue that takes people by surprise. It's not just her smile or her talent. It's not even her warmth, because most people already feel that immediately. It's what's underneath all of that. Because the closer you get to know who she really is, the more you find something that doesn't match the softness on the surface. And today, that's exactly where we are going. Hi, welcome back to Asian Star Spotlight, and welcome back to Shen Yue, the woman behind the name. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, go back and watch it first. The link is in the description, because what we covered there sets the foundation for everything we're going into today. In part 1 we talked about her everyday world, Xiamen, her home, her sewing machine, and her sofa sanctuary. Today in part 2, we're going deeper. We're talking about how Shen Yue actually thinks, how she handles pressure, what she believes about inner conflict, and the people who have shaped the way she sees the world. This is the part of her that most people don't get to see. Let's get into it. Let's start with something that tells you a lot about where Shen Yue is right now as an actress. In her current drama, Be With Me, she plays a character named Jo Yu, a woman burdened by emotional suppression, struggling silently within the complicated relationships of marriage and motherhood, carrying both silence and inner conflict at the same time. And when she talked about why she chose this role, her answer was really unexpected. She said, "For many people, repression is not considered an attractive personality trait. So we rarely see female characters like this represented. But people like them also need a voice. And that's why I'm happy to portray such a role." She approached the role with so much care that she tried to find reference characters to study. And she realized something striking. Traits like gentleness, composure, emotional restraint, and difficulty expressing oneself were almost always written for male characters in the scripts she had read. So through Jo Yu, she's giving those qualities to a woman. And honestly, she feels genuinely happy about that. Now here's where it gets really interesting. When asked whether she herself had ever gone through the kind of emotional conflict her character carries, her answer stopped a lot of people mid-read. She said, "I think my personal growth has always come together with inner conflict. People often equate emotional struggle, overthinking, and hesitation with weakness. But I actually think people who wrestle internally are incredibly strong, because they are constantly fighting with themselves, questioning themselves, tearing themselves apart, and rebuilding themselves again. For me, if life had always been smooth and peaceful, I probably wouldn't have grown as much. It was through those complicated and conflicted moments that I became stronger and more certain of myself." And what many people didn't notice is how much that statement explains about Shen Yue. Everything she has navigated publicly, every moment she has been questioned or criticized, and every time she chose grace over retaliation. She didn't succumb to those moments despite the conflict. She grew because of it. But here's the part her fans relate to most. Shen Yue is deeply, genuinely introverted in her personal life. When filming becomes exhausting, when the pressure builds and the tiredness sets in, she doesn't reach for noise or distraction. She goes home, closes the door, and quietly stays by herself. She said, "I really like being alone to recharge myself. After work, I return to my room, close the door, and quietly stay by myself. That's my little ritual. Sometimes I also go for walks, exercise, or listen to music." That sofa corner we talked about in part 1. That tiny space between the sofa and the tea table, that's not just where she reads and watches films. That's where she comes back to herself. And then there's her mother. This is the part I wasn't expecting. And it's the part that hit me hardest. Shen Yue said that the people in her family and her close friends are all very optimistic, and that she has learned a lot from them, especially her mother, who she describes as an incredibly positive person. She shared that once, during a moment when she was worried the world might become harder and harder. She wasn't sure whether things would really get better. And her mother said, "Of course the world is getting better. Look at the house we live in now. It's so much nicer. When we were young, the roof leaked when it rained. Traveling long distances used to be difficult, but now flying is so convenient. Even the food we eat today is fresher and tastier, she said. Listening to her mother made her realize the world really is slowly becoming better. And then not long after, she had a heartfelt conversation with actress Zhao Li Jiaqi while walking on the street. And she sent her a message saying, "It's so wonderful that after entering this industry I met friends like you. You taught me how to become a better person and helped me develop a healthier mindset and way of thinking." And Zhao replied, "It's because we're similar people that we're drawn to each other. Everyone here is genuinely kind. The people around Shen Yue didn't happen by accident. She chose them, and they reflect exactly who she is. So now you know how she thinks. The inner conflict she doesn't run from, the introversion she has made into a superpower, the mother who taught her the world is getting better, and the friends who mirror her own gentleness back to her. But there's one more part to this story. And honestly, it's the most powerful one. Because in part 3, we're getting into what Shen Yue actually believes about life, about following your heart, about the word someday, and why that one word has become the most important thing she carries with her. There's a line from one of her dramas that she said kept coming back to her in real life, again and again, like an answer to a mystery every single time she needed it. And when you hear it in the context of everything she's been through, it hits completely differently. Part 3 is coming very soon. Make sure you're subscribed and your notifications are on. And that's it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Take care, and I'll see you in part 3.